Rating agencies often talking about bailouts, and if state-owned enterprises are not partially or wholly privatised, government bailouts will become the norm, according to an independent economist.
Liquidity pressures are beginning to surface at some state-owned enterprises. So far, the government has issued almost R500 billion in guarantees.
National Treasury says it has drafted a special appropriation bill to recapitalise SAA with a 10 billion rands bailout. It hopes to persuade Parliament to vote on this matter urgently, as Parliament is set to go into recess until mid-October. But analysts fear that perpetual bailouts will land the economy in a worse-off state.
If the situation in South Africa doesn't improve markedly, where a partial or a whole privatisation of entities like SAA, for example, will become more and more the norm. Because we see, for example, that there's going to be a big funding gap between now and the budget next year. 50 billion rands is what's being talked about. Now, you don't plug that gap by taking good money and putting it after bad investments like SAA. So this kind of thing being watched very, very closely by the ratings agencies. So, you know, there is a cash crunch for government, and if we don't do what we are going to be prescribed to do in ever-increasing fashion by the ratings agencies, although they can't be too prescriptive, obviously, but the IMF and other lending institutions, then we're going to find ourselves in big trouble.
At the same time, SAA says it will now fly 23% fewer flights by the end of the year. This as it retires 5 aircraft as part of a revamp aimed at returning to profit. Government says it's looking at ways of helping SOEs run efficiently by appointing efficient boards.
Our belief and our strong belief in this regard is once you can position the board and empower the board and get good management to run the company, you are going to be in a much better position. And this is precisely what we are doing right across the various state-owned enterprises. Having set out the policy, we are also looking at how the balance sheets of these companies can be better managed and how the financing, those that need financing, can be better structured so that they are not driven into bankruptcy.
Diabo Seto, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Well, from SAA, let's catch a quick plane to the United Nations in America.
The UN preparing to host heads of state from around the world for the annual UN General Assembly.